Hey everyone, I have my friend Terry here, and I'm so excited to share with you. We just were talking for a couple of minutes about how this is I called it a commercial for hope. And so, as we talk about Terry's story, I just want to give you like this very cool thing. The reason I wanted to bring her on was that she went from like never having any conversations with potential business builders to having four in a week. And what I've noticed, Terry, is in the last 2 months that I've known you, like your confidence has really exploded. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I think a lot of people will say, well, that's just a mindset or that's just a decision. And I think your journey's been a little bit different. So we met, I guess, I mean, I think you've been around in the world for a while.
Mhm.
But we actually met in June when you started the Customer First Sales Mastermind. And I was just wondering if you could just first catch us up. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where do you live? What do you like to do for fun? And then we'll get into the stuff. And if you guys
Right.
are on live, if you guys are here, say hi to Terry. I'm sure you guys have all been on Facebook Lives without comments, and it's bad.
So I live in Tennessee
Okay.
and mom of two, but they're both grown and gone and out into the world. So it's just my husband and I now, and just kind of living life. I'm trying to figure out what I do love to do for fun. My boys have been gone for about 6 to 8 years now, about 8 to 10 years.
Okay.
So just kind of figuring out what I want to do and what my mission in life is now that they're gone.
I love that. Well, I think that's so cool that you're being thoughtful about that. I hear pickleball is very popular in Tennessee.
I am not athletic.
Okay, so how long have you been in your network marketing business, Terry? And can you
It'll
just kind
be
of catch us up to speed?
6 years in November.
Okay. And so, what were some of the problems that you were trying to solve when you decided to sign up for the Customer First Sales Mastermind in your business?
So the biggest thing was trying to figure out systems and processes. I don't have any problems enrolling people. I love to do that really more one-on-one conversations. I do great in classes too, but that's just not my favorite avenue of doing that. But I didn't have a really good system or process of, so what do I do once they've signed up? Like, how do I follow up? What's too much? What's not enough? And then just gaining that confidence. Because I always felt kind of icky or weird, like, what if they don't want to hear from me? Or what if, am I bothering them? I'd like sign them up and they've spent this money, they've
Yeah,
invested, and now I'm afraid to follow up like I'm pestering them or,
yeah, pestering and bothering them. I'm
Mhm.
curious if you guys resonate with that, just like write the word bother or put a mouse emoji or something so that we know if you can relate. So, what did you think would be the impact on your business? And ultimately, I think our business is for life. So, on your life, if you didn't fix some of those problems.
If I didn't fix them, um, I really didn't. This was going to be a hobby. It was never going to be a business. And I needed to come to the realization of that because I can't let this take up my entire life. Although I'm trying to find out what I want to do going forward now that boys are gone. This didn't need to take up 100% of my time. I needed to be able to find the other things I enjoyed.
Mm,
And this really, I was staying busy doing busy work. And so I was not going to gain customers the way I wanted to. It
yeah.
could help my credibility because I wasn't following up the way that they maybe wanted me to. Um, so it's just going to impact the bottom line. And this was not going to be a business. This was going to end up being just an expensive hobby.
Sure. Well, and it probably more expensive from a time perspective
Mhm.
more than anything. I'm curious. I know this isn't on our list of questions, but how do you see your network marketing business fitting in as a career for you? Like, what does that look like?
Um, I like, how do I want that to show up in my life?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's too deep of a question, unprepared, but I'm
Yeah,
just super
I
curious
just,
when you said that.
I love helping people. I've been a physical therapy assistant for 34 years. So my entire life has really been devoted to taking care of and encouraging people and helping them get back into life. And I still wanted to be able to do that for the rest of my life. But I just retired my license after 34 years. It's
Oh,
time for
wow.
something different, but yet still doing the same thing, if that makes sense. Still pouring into people.
Yeah. Well, I was done with my corporate sales manager job, but I still wanted to help people sell more. So
Right.
I get it, just not in that same exact way.
Wanted to do it a little bit more on my terms and not in this little box that we were allowed
Oh, yeah.
to do that.
More
And
freedom.
not so much paperwork and not patient care. So lots
Yeah.
of reasons.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. Great. So, what did you implement from the customer first sales mastermind that helped with your confidence, your follow up, and your recruiting?
So a big part of it was you don't give us scripts, but you give us an idea of like kind of how to simply put it. I am too wordy. And I love that you helped us, or at least me, simplify how I could say the same thing in fewer words,
Hmm.
and not come out sounding icky like I'm trying to get you to purchase something. You just purchased some stuff, and now I want you to purchase more because that but isn't our goal. Our biggest goal is to like serve and make sure that they're getting what they want. So
Yeah.
just being able to implement the strategies of how to reach out, when to reach out, what kind of some things to say
Hmm.
are the biggest.
Okay. So, how did that impact your recruiting? So, because you're talking, it seems like most of your confidence was around customer follow up, but the outcome ended up being recruiting business builders.
It did.
I think a lot of people are like customers over here, business builders over here. They're totally different parts of the business. Can you help us to understand how that's all connected for you in your head?
Yeah, for me, it was how could I ever ask somebody to do this business when I didn't know what to do with a customer? So if I was trying to say, hey, Tasha, you would be amazing at what I do. I'd love for you to join me. But then what do I do? Because I have no idea how to help you do what I do because I do, but I don't know what I do. Like I have no system, I have no process. So I had no confidence to reach out and ask anybody to join me. But
Hmm.
once I got those systems in place and I know what to do and I know how to train somebody else, easy peasy. Now
Yeah.
I now I'm can't wait to have those conversations with people that
Yeah.
I feel will be a good fit for what I do.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So what were some of the things that you specifically like the actions that you took to solve the problem? I mean, in essence, what you're talking about is I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to say, I didn't say anything. And so I didn't do anything. And then I felt bad because I wasn't doing anything. But
Yeah, and
that's a cycle, right?
it's a bad cycle, and I would try calling, I would try, doing text messages, but I just always felt like I was bothering and pestering people, and I needed to figure out that I wasn't, but
Yeah. So then what actions did you take to solve the problems?
one was just realizing, and helping myself understand that, hey, they have made this investment. They do wanna hear from me until they say, "Please do not reach back out to me."
Mhm.
My job is to show up and to help them and educate them the way that I promised at the very beginning. It's also helps. And one of the actions I did is now at the very beginning, I explain what that's going to look like, what our follow up is going to be. So that took away the awkwardness of, oh, is it okay to text or is it okay to call? Because I already found out. Do you prefer text? Do you prefer call?
Oh,
I
yeah. Oh, so that's so good.
already
Yeah. So you just get ahead of time what is their preferred contact method, and then you don't have to sweat it.
yeah.
Almost like they're real people just like you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. Now I will say, actually, as I'm talking to you right now, tell me if I remember this correctly. It was an interview that we did with someone else that got you to decide to do this, right?
To do the mastermind?
Yeah.
Yes, because I didn't realize you did masterminds. How I did not know that, I don't know, because you do a great job of putting stuff out there. I had signed up for this customer first almost 6 years ago, and did that by myself, but I needed the mastermind. I needed because I'm one of those that I wanna, like, watch everything, read everything, and implement it at once. You
Mhm.
can't. You've gotta do it in pieces and learn this piece and do it. Now
Yeah.
learn this piece and do it. So I needed the mastermind
Hmm.
to make me actually walk through the pieces.
Yeah. Have you done a lot of programs before?
Yes.
So what do you think was different about the mastermind and the live coaching model? I mean, you mentioned already, like, here's your assignment, it's due on this day. That
Mhm.
helps. I mean, you have a
Mhm.
clinical background, so I'm assuming you were a decent student in the past.
Yeah.
What else was it about? Like, because I think the environment was really cool that we had together. So what was it about that? Because you have a supportive upline, you
Mhm.
have a supportive corporate structure, and yet you still were like, this mastermind is the thing that helped me. So can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So it was the environment. What I loved is that you're there to coach. You don't reteach what we've watched. I mean, the homework that you don't like go back over it. You actually expect us to do our homework. And then we're there to answer questions. You kind of reteach us some deeper level stuff. And then we ask questions and you give us feedback. We get feedback from each other. It's an amazing model to actually help you, number one, show up, do your work, put it into action, and if you get stuck, you're right there to help us through
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. This model doesn't, I was talking to my friend who's in the industry. She's like, this model doesn't exist. I was like, yeah, it's too much work for
There's a
everyone
lot
else.
of work
But I
that you
love
put
it
in.
because that then we get to like know each other and stuff.
Mhm.
What outcomes did you achieve?
The biggest thing was the starting to have those conversations with potential people that want to build a business for themselves.
Mhm.
It also helped me get back to my pre-COVID numbers on enrollments a month.
Okay,
And
cool.
so that was also super helpful. And of course, just putting those systems into place.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I think that's great. So tell us a little bit about, you also mentioned me earlier about your time management. Like
Mhm.
getting your calendar, how did that shift for you and what did that do for your confidence and probably your marriage, I assume?
Well, and for our marriage, I always I spend a certain amount of time working from my chair so that while he's watching TV, I can be in
Mhm.
the same room. I don't know if
Okay,
anyone
okay,
else
very good, very
does
good.
the same thing, but it is still a work in progress. It has helped tremendously that I'm now freeing up some time and realizing this is where I can specifically start calling people and saying, "Hey, I would love to have a conversation with you. I've got this time and this time available." So that has significantly helped. I am finding that I am not spending all of my time doing the busy work. I'm really now spending my time setting those appointments, and I'm much, much more strategic.
That's great. It's actually funny you mentioned the busy work because I was going to come back and ask a question about that. When you said you were spending a lot of time doing busy work in the past, what would you describe as busy work?
All right, so I love to organize.
Okay.
I love to create different classes and stuff like that that I'm gonna be teaching on. I love research. I
Okay.
love learning. So, I can watch videos and see what somebody else is doing. I can go do some research on a topic and put that together. I can do 8, 10 hours of that a day. But that's not an income producing activity. Did I get a conversation? Did I make a sale? Did I follow up with a customer? Did I have a builder's conversation? No.
Yeah. So now what does it look like? Because I assume that stuff still feeds your soul. Because
It
I
does.
think here's something that I just want to say. I think a lot of people will say to someone like you, say, stop doing that. Move into action, you loser, basically. Like, I mean, I've been to the conventions, not your company, but the like network marketing. I think it's a shame-filled thing. So I wouldn't tell you to not do that because I know it's going to fill your soul. How have you figured out how to, well, I think what you said earlier was now that you know what to say, you're not gravitating towards the busy work, but I
Right.
assume research and learning is still something that you're very excited about. So how have you balanced that and made it revenue producing?
Because now it's time blocked. So now I know this is my time to get to do that. Um, but this is that time. I don't get to do it 10 hours a day.
Mm,
And I love watching other content sometimes. So there'll be classes that I want to take, and I have to look at my calendar. Okay, I've already got 3 hours on this week. I can't add these 5 other classes because then
Right.
that's 8 hours. So I really have to pick and choose what I'm gonna do, but really staying kind of looking at that calendar and how much income producing time am I doing, how much follow-up and all of those kind of things, and how much of the other stuff. So I'm getting more balance.
Cool. If you guys have any questions for Terry, go ahead and pop them in the comments. I know one is going through everyone's mind, and that is, how do you allocate your learning time within your schedule?
So mine's probably
How do you do that?
different than a lot of people, mainly because I am older. So because my kids are gone. If my kids were still at home, it would look completely different. We homeschooled for 8 years, so that would have looked completely different. But I still know that I could be doing exactly this back then. And it's really just kind of looking and saying, okay, putting in those things that have to be done every day first into my calendar, and then figuring out how, for me, it's like how much income producing activities do I want on my calendar? And then fitting my education in instead of the other way around.
Oh, yeah.
Because
So what would you say are your have to do activities?
um I don't have a lot. So to do activities would be um cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, fixing dinner, eating,
Yeah, sure.
taking care of the
In
dogs.
your business, so what are your have to do activities in your business?
In my business, it would be follow-ups, classes, getting that information on the class out,
Mhm.
builder conversations, and then again follow up with those builders.
Yeah, so really not that many. So you're basically saying my job is inviting, follow up, and showing up for calls that people say yes to.
That's it.
And then you put your professional development after that, and that's what's helped you
Correct.
be able to
And
do
it may be that that personal, that development stuff is in the morning. It may be the afternoon or evening, but it's built around those things that I have to do for my business.
Yeah, and I think that's really smart. What would you say is like the ratio? Like how many hours of revenue generating to how many hours of learning?
I'm trying to do 3 to 1, which would be three times the amount of income producing versus one of the other. And then any free time I can go crazy and do a ton
Yeah, just
more.
free time.
Right. But at least I have to have a certain amount of hours during the week that I'm doing
Yeah.
that
I think
work.
that ratio is really helpful because I think people will go all one or the other, right? They'll do, okay, so let's say I work 8 hours a day, 4 hours a day, whatever. They'll just be like, I'll either do only action or I'll either do only learning and like get caught up into perfection. And so I think that that's just such a good, a great concept. Um, okay, so I think those are all the questions that I have for people. So, or for you. I don't know if anyone else, I didn't see any that came in there. Joey's kind of bummed when to share the opportunity with them and in the relationship building. So I'll maybe cover that in a different conversation. Um, what advice would you have to other network marketers, just kind of from this place of confidence and seeing success in recruiting?
Yeah, I would say if you are struggling at all in your business, especially if you have a confidence of reaching out, or if you're just not getting the sales that you need or attracting the builders that you want. I know Tasha doesn't like us to really talk about her, but definitely taking her classes have made a difference. I mean, she gives out so much free content that is awesome, but doing a mastermind is going to make a tremendous difference. It is going to be what connects all of that learning in the direction that you're wanting to go, because you're getting that personal, even though it's a group of people, it's still a personal um, one, that is that personal help.
I appreciate that. I just want to make sure it's not that I am not like obviously I want you guys to say take the mastermind, but I just want to make sure that you also take credit for your things. You mentioned the free content, so we do publish quite a bit of free content. What do you think is different about the mastermind than the free content that's
It's
published?
that ability to ask those questions and get that personal feedback. I mean, that's huge because you can hear something on just somebody speaking and listen to a video, but when you actually are in that moment and you're going through the process and something pops up, having the opportunity to ask that question is huge.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure it also gave you a lot of confidence because I read every single one of your outlines.
True. So you do have to do the work. Um, but oh my gosh, yes, being able to have you read our work and positively critique it, like not like, oh my gosh, you're horrible. That's
Right.
it's nothing like that. It's like, wow, that was great, or hey, maybe change this and see how this feels. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, like even in writing ads for 3 years, I was still sending every ad to my coach just to get the check mark. Because what I would do is I'd fall into overthinking.
yeah, I overthink.
And I think that overthinking, like for really responsible business, I consider you a responsible person. I think overthinking is hard because you can't, like, if you're a beginner, you can't analyze your own work.
Hmm.
So then you get caught in this loop of, is this good? Is this not good? Sometimes, right? Like you don't know. And I think that's really hard because a beginner cannot evaluate whether
Right,
or not it's good.
right.
So I'm glad that's helpful, or that was so helpful for you. I hope that everyone who watches this is encouraged by Terry to be like, you could be in the business for 6 years, still kind of feeling like, am I pushy? And then flip that just in, I mean, you were probably out of the cage after like 3 or 4 weeks.
Hmm.
So I just want everyone to know that that is possible. Knowing what to say makes a big difference. And Terry, I just want to thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah. Thank you, Tasha. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye, everyone.